We're streaming.
Give them a hug for me. I'm not here.
Not anymore. She actually works not entirely sure, but how we wait, right?
How you doing?
Hanging out with my scissors.
Good.
Yes. Yeah, we'll probably go around.
Yeah.
So I'm my natural born blood.
I would recommend that. Just see her
Yeah.
cutting through the.
Hi, it's good to see you. Doing very well. So a little bit, yeah. We're doing trying to get out. I gotta get back to the shop. I don't like going in November.
Trying to figure it out.
Yeah, it's really clear.
Everybody's blowing me up. This is set up a live video.
Well, that would be for my phone. We're streaming live. It says here.
I'll be right back.
We're still waiting for Frank. Yeah, that's, but it might be okay to go ahead and get started. He mentioned being here at 3:15. We can always piggyback on him because the program.
Make sure that we're good. Frank, that's all right.
Okay. What time is it? It's like, Mike, what time is it on your phone?
It's 3:11, and we're live. We've been going live for
What do you mean you're live? We're on Facebook Live.
yeah.
Oh, the conversations I'm having, that's,
Well, stay away from that mic.
okay. I almost had a heart attack.
Yeah, I would have.
Okay, so you want to start?
Got 31 people watching.
You can see it. Yeah. Thanks for your help.
You know, you can never have enough cowbell here in Federal Way, especially these days. Hi, everybody. I am Becca Martin. I'm the CEO of the Greater Federal Way Chamber of Commerce, and I am so all here today for the ceremony we're about to have. To make us warm in our hearts and in our minds than to be here for a ribbon cutting for the Pete Andersen Fusion Family Center. Because when you come to Federal Way, you come to be part of a family. And that's how we roll. And we're going to see some exciting things today, I think, when we get our tour, etc. So thank you, everyone, for coming, and thank you for being tolerant of our cowbell. And without further ado, it is my distinct privilege to also introduce to you Ms. Robin O'Grady, the Executive Director of Fusion.
Thank you, and thank you so much, everyone, for coming and sharing time with us today. This is such an exciting day for Fusion. For 28 years, Fusion has helped hundreds of families transition from hopelessness and homelessness to healing and self-sufficiency, from surviving to thriving. The Pete Andersen Fusion Family Center will provide more than 100 families, 250 children annually, with safe emergency shelter and individualized support using the family stability and other innovative models of service. Families experiencing homelessness will have access to case management, employment development, and after-school program activities, and we will lock arms with our community partners to ensure their success in finding permanent housing, gainful employment, and ultimately self-sufficiency. But of course, this critical program would not be possible without all of you. Our founders, board members, volunteers, staff, community members, and our elected officials have all played a vital part in the creation of this program. And we thank you today for helping us help those most vulnerable in our community. There are a few folks that I would like to give special recognition to today who've gone the extra mile to ensure that this project is a success. Peggy Laporte, Fusion founder, and Byron Hiller, past Fusion board chair and current vice chair. We would not be standing here today without your vision, and we thank you. Frank Chop, Pete von Reichbauer, Claire Wilson, and Jim Farrell, we thank you for your support of this project and your focus on finding solutions for families experiencing homelessness in our community. There are those two who have worked and toiled and worked to make sure that we were able to do this today, and to also make sure that our facility will be ready for our first families in mid-November. And I would like you to please stand up and come forward when I call your name. David Harrison. Thank you so much, David. Jim Yates.
Wow, thank you so much.
Ken Cox. Thomas Cameron.
With a new logo.
We thank you so much for your service to Fusion and the Family Center Project. You're welcome. Thank you. Dan Ayers. Ken Cox. Thank you, Dan. We had to hunt you down. Thank you, Ken. Now I would like to turn the mic over to Julie Siegler. Julie Siegler is a Fusion board member, and she's also the marketing director of Lennar Homes. Lennar Homes has been a wonderful partner to Fusion. And Julie's been a champion on many fronts in support of the Family Center. She will introduce Pete Andersen's lovely wife, Tammy, and will share about Pete's legacy, followed by comments from our elected officials who've been instrumental in the development of this project.
Thank you. Can you hear me okay? Thank you all for having me here today and allowing me to share with you a few words before we open for the first time what essentially is our hearts in the form of a building. As Robin mentioned, my name is Julie Siegler, and I'm a community member. I'm also on the Fusion Board of Directors, and I'm a volunteer. And I have been asked to share with you a little bit about Fusion Family Center's namesake, Pete Andersen. I first met Pete 5 years ago when I began working for Lennar. Pete had worked there for 7 years. And Lennar, if you don't know, is a national home builder with a local presence here in our area. Pete was known by everyone at Lennar as the big deal, because he was a big deal. At Lennar, we sort of pride ourselves on wearing our names in the form of a badge or maybe on our apparel so that you don't have to feel embarrassed if you forget our name, because it's right there in print. Well, Pete was such a big deal that not only did he wear Pete on the front of his shirt on a name badge, but he also put the big deal across his back on a blue Lennar hoodie. And I swear, every time I saw him, he wore that hoodie because he was proud of it and he had earned that name. Pete was funny, he liked square dancing, and he was known for his big smile, which was really all cheeks. And he had a heart of gold, and he was just a really genuine person. He embodies all things good in people. But tragically, Pete was one of the first people in our country to be diagnosed with COVID-19. And sadly, he was the third person in the entire United States to pass away from this disease. And much like his family, many of who are here today, we learned in one day that he was positive for the virus, and that same day we learned he passed away. And we weren't there for him. And we didn't get to say goodbye, because that may be one of the saddest parts of this illness, is the aloneness. Another thing that Pete was known for, maybe a little less known for, but only because he wasn't the kind of person who would brag or was real out in your face about it, but he was a big supporter of our Focus Acts of Caring. And Focus Acts of Caring to us, to our company Lennar, is just the way our company gives back to the community. And it means a lot to us, and it meant a lot to Pete. So when Lennar learned about this amazing project and how impactful it would be for our city, we said, we want to help. We want to be a part of this project. We saw early on the vision it would help those families with children get back on their feet, and how more than just providing physiological needs like a roof over their heads, it would give them those support services so that they could have a sense of belonging, and we could take away some of their aloneness. And that was really important to us, because this is a place of hope. But man, what a project. To take this old motel and to turn it into this amazing place of healing, so much work was needed. And those people that Robin just thanked, they know what I'm talking about. It was a huge thing. And there was a day back in February when Pete volunteered, along with many other community members and Lennar associates, to be here for a day of volunteering and hard work and renovation. But Pete couldn't be here that day because he was already sick. And then the next time we were here for another day of hard work and volunteering, he couldn't come that day either because he was already in the hospital. And the last time we were here, the third time, he couldn't come then either because he had already passed away. So as family, we did what family does. And we wanted so much to be there for the Andersen family, but we couldn't physically. So instead, we started a GoFundMe where over 500 people from around the country, many who never even met Pete, donated so that we could show our love and support and wrap our arms virtually around the Andersen family. And then we thought bigger. And we met with the Lennar Foundation, which is an entity totally separate from Lennar Home Building. And we told them Pete's story and who he was, and we shared with them the vision of what Fusion was doing. And they decided to donate $1 million to the Fusion Family Center in honor of our Pete Andersen. And then when we went to the Fusion Board of Directors and we told them Pete's story, when they accepted that $1 million donation, they voted unanimously, right then on the spot, to rename the center the Pete Andersen Fusion Family Center. And that, my friends, is the story of the big deal. That's how the Pete Andersen Fusion Family Center got its name. And I just want to take a moment to introduce to you our honored guest, who I love and admire, Pete's family. So please help me welcome his mom, Rena Andersen, his amazing wife, Tammy, and their 3 children, Michaela, Zachary, and Haley. Come on up. So they just want to share with you that they are very grateful to be here, that they love you, and this is a huge honor for them to have Pete's name live on in legacy. Okay, is there anything else? All right, we won't put him on the spot. Thank you so much. So when you see them walking around, make sure you just give them a little bit extra love and support. And now please let me welcome back Robin. Said Andersen.
Thank you so much. And thank you so much to Pete's family. It's an honor to have you here with us today. Along with the Pete Andersen donation, I would like to say that this project could not have happened without the foresight of Frank Chop and also Pete von Reichbauer. And I would like to ask Frank to come up at this time and say a few words.
Great job, by the way. Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me. Isn't this wonderful? Please, show some enthusiasm. I'm so sick of Zoom meetings, I think I've been liberated today, so thank you for joining with my liberation here. I got involved in this effort from Pete. He invited me to this thing called Good Eggs Breakfast, which is terrible because you have to wake up in my district about 5:30 in order to get down here and give a little speech that, well, if you've been there, it's a great event. But at any rate, so Pete said, hey, I got somebody for you to meet. I said, okay. And her name is Peggy Laporte. And so I met with Peggy. And she talked about Fusion. I think we met at the furniture store for selling for donations for the place here. And I was just so taken with not only her vision, but her heart and her passion about helping people. It was truly inspiring. It really was. And so, at first I wasn't sure about Fusion. I didn't know much about it. And then she invited me to their annual summer event. like a big thing. I thought, maybe 30 people show up. I mean, there was like 800 people there. I couldn't believe it. They're having a great time, nice sunny sky, but they were there to have not only fun, but also to do good. And I was very taken with that. So next time I saw Pete, I said, all right, if you come up with half the money, I'll come up with the other half. And that's how it happened, basically. That was the extent of our intellectual thought about this great project. And then, of course, to have a private company in Lennar, on behalf of the family, donate additional contribution from private sector is very inspiring as well. And so I just want you to realize how special this is because of not only your efforts and Peggy's effort. By the way, can we all recognize Peggy? Yeah, come on, stand up back there. Let's hear it for Peggy! This is so typical. She's in the back there, right? You know, doesn't want to be, at any rate, yeah, I love you, Peggy. You just done great. And one last thing is, you know, Pete and I got some money, but it's all your money. So I would like you to recognize the people of the state of Washington and King County for their contribution to this. This is a wonderful community event. And let's hear it for the people.
We will next hear from Pete von Reichbauer.
I was hoping the speaker would speak for me, and he did carry the sentiments that I have on this issue. It's appropriate this is called fusion because fusion is the merging of elements into a whole. And when I first met with Peggy, we talked about the need, and I was able to find $3 million in the county budget to begin this prototype of what we hope to have more around this county. Then, as Frank pointed out, we came together and we had fusion between the county and the state, again for a whole thing. And I want to thank Claire Wilson and the members of the legislature who went along and supported this fusion of good ideas. Now, fusion is about families. And what impresses me most, Frank, when I went to the original outdoor party, you didn't see individuals, you saw whole families involved coming together to support other families. And fusion is about families in federal way supporting other families. And it couldn't be a more appropriate name, is the fusion of merging other families to help those who need it. And please join me again in thanking the taxpayers because, again, Frank and I are agents. We each went to our various institutions. But it's the taxpayers of King County who took a gamble on this, and I believe this gamble is going to pay off. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Pete. Claire, we were hoping you might come up and say a word as well.
I think I had the easy job because I'm the new kid on the block, and so coming down to Olympia, it was really just an opportunity, I think, to support a community I've lived in for many, many, many years. And knowing what I know about children and families in our community, it's really important that we're able to support folks where they live. And all of us, we know, struggle at some point, and we know even now we have more families struggling. So the opening of this is absolutely late in coming, but incredibly timely as we think about our situations right now. Community is defined as anything with 4 walls and a welcome mat, and I would say this is an incredible definition of community, and I'm so, so proud to be part of it. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Senator Wilson. And of course, last but not least, Mayor Jim Farrell.
Welcome, Federal Way. What a great day for our community. And this is a big deal. It's so appropriate that it's named after Pete because this center, this building is going to be a big deal, not just for the community as a whole, but the individuals. As I remember the first few times I heard that they were thinking about, and they being Peggy and Byron and the community, thinking about using this building, I thought, what a great idea to use a building and use a structure that was here and really put it to such great use for our community. I want to thank Peggy and Byron and the planning and thoughts and the vision that it takes. When I came here and when I actually, even today, looking at those doors and the entryway, remind me of a couple of things. First of all, think of all the thousands and thousands of people and families that are going to enter these doors and the condition that their hearts and their minds and the state of their families are in when they enter those doors. And then when they finally are able to emerge and come out these doors, really in a position in which they can move forward as a family and move forward to a state of greater self-sufficiency. This is truly a big deal for our community, a gift. I'd like to thank Pete for his leadership and Speaker Chop for really taking the bull and running with this. And also Robin, who, Robin is just a great addition. Let's give a big round of applause for Robin and her addition to Fusion. And she has been absolutely just a breath of fresh air to work with to make sure that we get the doors to this building open. And this is going to be here for a long time. And one of the things I think is so great is we spend a lot of time talking about this shelter or that shelter, and now because of COVID we can't congregate shelter, and we're trying our new ways. This, when it opens, will be a place for 29 families at a time. And they will go through and really in different waves and come through and really emerge back out into the community and really try to move on. And that's really what this is about, is to provide people with the resources and the help to move on and make sure that this state of homelessness that they're experiencing is temporary. So this is a big deal for our community. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here, and thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mayor Farrell. Before we close today, there are two opportunities that I would like to share with you. The first is our Wall of Hope project, in which you can purchase a tile that you can put your message on for our Wall of Hope, which will be located in the Great Room, and you'll be able to see that today when we do our tours. The next opportunity is our Amazon wish list for the family shelter, and you can go to our website at fusionfederalway.org to take a look at our wish list to help us with items that are needed to launch the Family Center program and help our guests that are coming in. And for more information on both of these projects, you can go to our website at fusionfederalway.org. Well, we're just about ready to cut the ribbon. And we will be doing tours after we cut the ribbon in groups of 5. Myself, Dorsal Plants, and David will all be tour hosts. And Dorsal and David, could you raise your hand so people can see who you are for your tours? Great, thank you. And also there are refreshments in the Great Room. And we really want to thank everyone that was able to make it out here today. And for all of those that have put so much time, talent, and treasure into this project, we are ecstatic and so grateful. Thank you very much.
That's right, everyone's looking at me picking up these scissors.
No running.
That's right, no running, it's for parties. So I just want to add that on behalf of the business community, I want Fusion and our nonprofits to know, and I'm sure that you do already, that the business leaders do support our nonprofits and the work they do to create a family and keep us all safe. And I would like to add that no one is ever alone in Federal Way. There are the people here, there are the services. And while it was not my privilege to know Mr. Andersen, Julie, your words were very touching, and I think that we should all know, and his family in particular, that he wasn't alone and that you were there in his heart, like the rest of us. So thank you. Okay, are you ready? Because the pandemic has created some challenges in terms of taking photos. Normally we do big old group photos. We're not going to do that. We're going to do the ribbon cutting 3 times because we're so happy about cutting this ribbon. So Peggy Laporte, I need you to come forward. I'm going to be Little Miss Bossy Pants here with the scissors. Let's do the family first. So Peggy and Robin, give you the red. You can decide who goes. We're going to go over here. Is that where you want us? Yes. I'm going to be like a movie director. Then we're gonna go to the elected officials, then we're gonna do staff, and then we want to do our stand.
Okay.
So family, let's join here. Who would like to hold one end? And then someone can have the other end? There you go. And then we'll put Peggy and, however, who wants to cut? You want to cut or no? Okay, you two in the middle, family split on either side, how's that? That's great. Olivia and Mike, you guys can decide on your shot. What are you doing? Okay. You can't see somebody.
It's usually because I'm shorter than everybody.
Okay.
I can go back here.
Somebody can come over here too. Okay. Yes. Every day's a prize at the Chamber of Commerce. All right, let's have our elected officials.
All right.
You two in the middle, and you should be in the middle here. And then two and two on either side of you.
I can hold on this, or you can start it.
Please.
There we go. Smile. Want to go first?
Pete, you gotta hold it. There you go. All right. Wait, I gotta take one too. Ready? Oh, look how happy we are. Okay.
I gotta get my kid. Okay.
Okay, how many staff and board do we have here that we could hold our breaths and keep social distancing?
Board members and fusion staff.
And then we'll put the four of us with the ribbon and everyone around us behind. Okay, Jim, you and I are doing the usual.
Okay, you got it. In this one or the next one? Okay.
So I'm in this one.
All right, tell me where you want.
Board members first. What do you want to split it for board and staff? Okay, let's go. Okay, one without us, and then we'll do one with staff.
Okay.
So like.
Come on in, sit right here. Come on in, we got room.
Move forward a little bit, so, yeah, so we can have at least a little bit of space between us. I got ribbon.
Thomas Elmore.
Yeah.
Need a bigger mask, Pete.
Wait, hold on. Where are the scissors? Come on. Move forward. Ready? That's a good shot.
Say when. 1, 2, 3.
And now staff.
You have to twinkle your eyes so that they know that you're alive.
So,
We want next?
staff. And then Peggy and Robin and Mary and I will be here and then staff.
Okay.
Well, you know what, Mary, you and I will hold the ribbon. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I believe tours and refreshments are available at the Pete Andersen Family Center.
There are refreshments in the great room. You're welcome to go ahead and head to the lobby or the great room, and then we'll be doing tours, 5 folks at a time every few minutes. So if you'd like a tour, just be available by the double doors in the front.
We were supposed to get a Disney World tomorrow. My wife went down to see the yeah, right. Marty Mabia's.
She was kicked out at 15. She's never had a place to stay. And she was living right next door to a woman who had mental illness. She was started. And so the challenges of understanding the two families, they're both the one woman who's literally suffering the problems of her life, and this so for the woman who's out of it, a lot of memories from that. I gotta
Camera's clear, actually.
I would imagine, you know, we got pages, I saw the list of childcare providers in the city.
I mean, Tim did that great report that I was sharing around.
We will look up there. Are you putting this on YouTube?
Yeah, well, it's on the I just killed that.
I like it. the beginning, Mike's audio